Hey guys, it's Suki.
And the Video Master.
And well, about 5 hours ago, we were pretty much in the theater and we saw Equestria Girls here in Atlanta.
Yep.
So pretty much because we saw that and because it's such a big deal going on right now, well, of course we have to make a video on it, right?
Yeah, and of course, it's going to have spoilers later.
So if you don't know if you're going to be able, like, if you're planning on seeing it in a theater while this video is out, or you feel like you'll actually be able, or you can wait until like the DVD is released,
pretty much if you're going to actually see the movie and you don't want to be spoiled.
Pretty much, if you want to go and wait for your turn for when you'll actually get to see the movie, pretty much there's gonna be spoilers in the big part of this review, which is why we have the non-spoiler version.
I mean, yeah, I wasn't really expecting them to be in those outfits at all.
No. And then they fought. Okay, so without giving anything away, rally meows.
It's kind of weird to have that happen in the movie, but hey.
Yeah, sorry. I know you guys can hear her when she does that when we record with the camera. So
anyway, okay, so here, let's just go off of what you should already know. We know that they go to a world of humans. Well, Twilight does. Spike does too. He becomes the dog. He can talk. And it's pretty much, yeah, she has to get the crown back. And for those of you worried, I think they give a decent explanation for why she can't just grab the crown. And that's all I'll really say about that for the non-spoiler. But they do a decent enough. If you really pay attention to the movie, you'll find out, yes, there is a reason she can't just go get it. So that's good at least.
Yeah. Let me see. There's definitely a lot of good, really funny moments. Not just like fan service funny moments sort of things. Like genuinely funny things. There is a lot of fan service in it. There's of course, obviously there's, well, maybe not fan service, but I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm not gonna call it fan service. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Basically, they are in a. You could call it it's basically like a parallel universe of Equestria. Just it's humans and everything. So there are characters that we've seen in Ponyville and all around there that do show up. There's a few there are some that you guys already know about. Obviously you guys know that the Cutie Market Shaders are seen. Everybody saw in the trailers. Photo finish. Of course, Vinyl Scratch was seen.
Yeah.
There are quite a few more. But I think we'll let that stay to you guys to go like, oh, they're here and things like that.
As much as I like to point out a few, don't expect this one, don't expect that one. I'll let you find out for yourself.
Yeah, but on that note, we're not gonna say that like all the background ponies from Ponyville and Equestria should have been there. No, I actually can say no. That's not what should have been done. I think they did this right because they wanted to establish this world as its own world.
And as such, it's actually kind of interesting. There are a lot of students there that do not have pony counterparts. A lot, which I think was a very nice touch.
Yeah. They created a completely separate world, and just here and there they inserted human designs of characters that we would have known. Just to kind of give the air of familiarity to it. But there are some that aren't in there that would have been freaking awesome to see. But
yeah, we'll go into that on the spoilers version of this review. So those of you who are wondering, how are the characters portrayed? Well, we all know that the girls she meets in the other world are not her friends. They're just the human kind of counterparts.
But they are still the same characters.
Yeah, they're definitely still the same characters. Pinkie Pie's still going to do stuff that he'll be like, that's Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, and all of them.
Yeah.
I do find it kind of funny that they can be called things like Pinkie Pie or Rainbow Dash and nobody bats an eyelid, because that's not a normal name.
Well, come on. The freaking queen of the school is called Sunset Shimmer.
And the
Should we just give away who the name of the guy is? Because
Okay, yeah, it's not Brad.
Yeah, the name of the guy that's basically the love interest in this movie. We'll get more into that in the spoiler version, but his name is Flash Sentry, and all I can say is that he has something that I fucking wish I had. But
penis?
Yeah, but yeah, still his. God dang it! I didn't realize what you were saying.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't help that thing. No, he has an item.
Yeah, but once
It's nothing
again,
dirty, so get your minds out of the gutter.
once again, on names. I mean, the guy's called Flash Sentry.
Flash.
Ah.
Okay, we got that joke out of the way.
Yeah. And I mean, come on, Celestia is still Celestia, and Luna is Luna. Well, I guess you can get away with Luna in human world anyway. Hippies obviously would have named their kids Luna.
I'm just gonna spoil this for you guys. It's not that big a deal. We don't see shining armor, and I really don't know why.
Yeah, and we'll get into more of who's not more of what we would thought.
That's just the one thing I decided. You know what? Just screw it. Why isn't shining armor in the movie? Oh well. One of the things that we complain about a lot is that they tend to rush things and they seem to run out of time. This
one was better about it. They did have one part where I don't know if they really were running out of time, because I think this was originally intended to just be a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah.
And so I guess they had a certain time limit that they had to stay within. I will say, most of the movie is fine, perfectly paced, whatever. I'd say the climax part is a little bit rushed. But it's not like experience breaking rush sort of thing. It's not. I guess
it's something that leaves you going. I wish there was just a little bit more to that.
It's not as bad. I will say this. It's not as rushed as season 3 finale.
Personally, I see this as the true season 3 finale. Which is kind of saying something. I honestly walked into this movie not knowing if I was going to like it. I was looking at it from the way of, is this going to break what the show was originally trying to do anyway? Is this just going to become like a typical high school drama? And I think they did a pretty good job of, this is not what your typical movie like this would be.
Yeah. And also don't worry, what happens in this movie pretty much is the only real effect on it is Twilight has an even bigger appreciation of her friends, I think.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
And it's kind of funny because it does go into a bit of, at the beginning, before they even go to the other world where she's just a princess, she does ask some questions that you yourselves might have asked.
Yeah, we'll get into that in the...
We're not gonna tell you.
What's left to talk about? Well,
the music was pretty good.
Music was good. I think we're trying to remember how many songs there were. I think it's around different songs. I'd say it was 5?
I believe so.
It was 4 or 5 songs, I think.
Yeah,
and I don't think I'm including because there's a remix of the opening theme, but then again, I think it played in the trailer.
Possibly. That's actually what I was going to. It's kind of funny because Suki and I were thinking the same thing. We're listening to it and we're like, this kind of sounds like an Alex S remix.
People are probably going to be like, no, it's not. What? Sorry.
It was a joke anyway, guys.
Yeah.
You'll see what we mean, and we're not meaning exactly. We're not saying that he made it either.
No. We're saying it was. I guess it was. Yeah, it was more of a joke, but it was more. It was
more of an amusing observation.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Stay for the credits.
Yeah, stay for the credits. It'll be worth it. As far as when we were there at the theater, it was actually kind of interesting. When we first got there, I think we were actually some of the first people to show up, and then we get there, and the first thing I noticed, and it starts making me feel awkward. Of course, I was probably gonna feel awkward anyway doing this, but the first thing that happens after we get our tickets and we're kind of just standing around there because we got there 15 minutes early. The people that come up to the ticket office to buy tickets are nothing but families and young children at this point.
And you can all tell if any of the little girls were coming to see this movie because they're holding like a little
Pinkie Pie,
like Pinkie Pie or Rainbow Dash or something plushy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the bronies come, and they've got the vinyl scratchers and the chains. And I don't understand the chains thing, but
yeah,
like,
I don't know. For some reason, I treated this like I don't know why, but in my head, I got the whole like the old thing about concerts in my head. Because there's this whole thing about concerts. You don't wear the band shirt to the concert.
Huh.
I forget where that tradition came from, but it is a well-held tradition in music now, is that you don't wear the shirt of the band you're going to see. I don't know, but I guess it has something to do with like if you show up in that, it's like bad luck to the band or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably a story that somebody's gonna like tell me about now in the credits, or not credits, comments.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't apply to movies.
Yeah, but for some reason I just didn't feel like throwing on my one Big Mac shirt for this.
I wore my Trixie shirt. I actually got a couple of fist pumps at the end. Just a couple of random kids came up to me and they're like, "Eh," and they fist pumped at me. I guess it was because I was wearing the Trixie shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was weird, but I was like, hey.
Yeah, you know what I found really interesting is that it seemed like the families were okay with like with the fact that there were all the, I guess maybe they knew about bronies or something.
Yeah, actually, one of the mothers behind me with her daughter, she was talking to like one of her friends, and she was like, "Yeah, actually, the major fans of the show were people our age." It's like kind of funny, huh? And I have to go ahead and if any of you were actually at the theater that we went to, and somehow you recognize that you were at our showing, I thank you for being courteous to the other people. We had like maybe one or two people shout out at me before the movie started, but generally you were very well behaved and courteous to the little kids in the audience, and I thank you for that because that's how it should be. I was really worried we're going to get some of those bronies that are just stupid, making meme jokes and yelling out fandom jokes throughout the entire movie, but it didn't happen, and I'm glad.
Yeah. Okay, so all right,
I think that's all we can really say.
Yeah, that's all we can really do for non-spoiler version. This is going to be a long video. I can already tell you that. In fact, it might have to be split up into two parts, but we'll see what happens with that. So this is the end of the non-spoiler version, and now the spoiler version. And I mean, that one scene was just so powerful, where she's down, the last bits of life are coming out of her, and she just hands off the crown to pretty much who's going to be the new princess of Equestria.
Yeah, no, I'm not really sure about this Midnight Sparkle though.
Okay, so in case this is a second video, welcome to the spoiler version of the Equestria Girls review. So, I guess now you can just go nuts about what you want to go nuts about.
Oh, the fact that the greatest unicorn ever was in it. Trixie got a speaking line, and I'm really happy about it. I'm not going to tell you what the line was because I'd rather you go see the movie, but she got a speaking line, and I was like...
Yeah, okay, basically, your only clue as to what her speaking line is that it's going to be a meme. It's going to be a meme.
Whenever this movie finally comes out. So I was happy because, okay, when I went into this movie, I already knew a few things. I knew about the demon transformation at the end, which I actually just reblogged a picture of what that would look like as a pony on Tumblr. You should check that out because it was really awesome looking. I told everybody, sorry about spoilers, but this is awesome. But yeah, I knew about the demon pony. I knew about the fact that they got the ears and the tails, actual, stuff, not the stuff they use for the song. I knew that they returned to Ponyville at the very end because I asked a friend, and I knew that Trixie wasn't just a background character, like she didn't just walk around the background, but that's all I knew. Like I'd seen a few GIFs and stuff, but I didn't really know how the movie was supposed to go. So I guess just starting from the beginning.
Pretty much Twilight. Actually, that's the thing. Ponyville never actually shows up in this movie.
No, it starts at the Crystal Empire.
Goes into the other universe and it ends in the Crystal Empire.
Again. This is about the only time that we've seen Cadance and Twilight meet where they don't do Ladybug's Awake.
I guess because they were in. I guess because it was
Princess Summit.
Yeah, Princess Summit. Which that's kind of interesting. They actually have like I guess an annual meeting that they have to do in the Princess Summit where they all get together.
And it's so Celestia and Luna would just take time off or something. Come on, the only other princess is Cadence, and now Twilight. So that is one thing, though. Yeah, they're the only 4 princesses of Equestria. There aren't any others. There wasn't some other alicorn standing off to the side that we just never meet. No, it's only those 4.
Yeah.
So alicorns are very, very rare, and for all of you who are still whining about, well, Luna and Celestia should have been the only ones, I really don't see the big deal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But let's see. Also, I like how they basically established that Flash Sentry is there just right off the bat because Twilight walks into the room and there's all these crystal guard ponies and they all look the same. And then it's pretty obvious that the guy who announces Twilight is not the same thing as the others because 1, he's not shining, and 2, he's not purple. Because I think that's the thing. Is the rest of them were all purple.
Yeah. And for all of those who go, well, of course he wasn't shining armor, smack.
Yeah, speaking of shining armor, yeah, he doesn't show up in this movie.
At all. We're like,
not even in pony form. For some reason, he's not in the castle when Twilight shows up to meet up Cadence.
Yeah, that's what I came... After I got up the movie, I was like, what the fuck was shining armor?
Yeah, and as far as in the other world, because the roles in the other world, we're going to kind of jumble around on this a little bit, but whatever. Because we're not going to go through the movie, really.
And you've already heard some of our opinions anyway for the non-spoiler version. We're just going into the more detailed stuff.
But so in the other world, a lot of the characters assume roles that would be equivalent. Like Celestia and Luna are princesses in Equestria. In this high school world, they're the principal and vice principal.
And you can probably guess who is who.
Yeah. And the thing that sucks is that there's no Cadence version, and there's no Cadence in the other world. And we were actually discussing afterwards, like, well, man, it sucks that Cadence didn't show up, but what would she be? And we actually thought she might be she could have been like a headmistress at like a private school elsewhere called like the Crystal Academy.
That's what I'm saying. It's Crystal Academy somewhere else in the town, and Cadence is the principal of that. It's like the only other thing she could have been is you said.
She could have been the student body president.
Yeah, that was about the only other thing that we could think of for her.
And shining armor, I think, would have been like not a chief of police because I guess given how given an inhuman equivalent, he'd probably be like 25. I'd say
he'd be like a top officer, or my guess would be head of the security at Crystal Academy.
Yeah, yeah. That I guess if he was an officer, like a lieutenant, maybe he could probably be a police lieutenant.
Yeah,
I'd say if he was like mid to late 20s, there's a chance he could have gotten to lieutenant status.
There's that.
Oh yeah, Flash Sentry's thing that I wanted really bad was his damn car that he drives up to the dance in.
It's just fucking awesome looking thing.
I think it's based off a Camaro. Correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's based off a Camaro. And I know somebody's gonna have a Camaro now, and they're gonna paint the fucker like that.
At least. Somebody better. Let's see. So going into more spoiler things, there are of course the questions that come up that you kind of ask if you really start trying to nitpick at the movie. Like Shusha Simmer, apparently from what we understand, she was a student of Celestia slightly before Twilight. She disappeared. She seems to have gone to the other alternate dimension while the gateway was open, which, by the way, that's another question. Why does the gateway only open at certain times? But it's not important, pretty much. These are all nitpicks that aren't really important to the story.
Yeah, basically, it's a magical artifact that they have. Guess what? It does things. Deal with it. Because there's so many shows and things of the past that, these sort of things happen. And what happens? Nobody says a fucking thing. It happens in ponies. It's such a big fucking deal now.
So the mirror works for some reason. We don't really know why it's during certain phases of the moon. I honestly don't care.
It was every 30 moons.
Like every 30 moons, which... What would that be?
We're still trying to figure out what it means for the Apple family reunions.
I know, it's like... I'm honestly guessing this is like quite a few years. It's got to be like just years, because we don't quite know how the cycles works in Equestria. But anyway, the only question that really comes to mind that I'm kind of wondering about is there's no magic in this Canterlot High School until she brings the element of harmony there. Yeah, she can still really cast magic very well when she becomes a unicorn again.
Well, okay, Sunset Shimmer he's talking about.
Yeah, Sunset Shimmer. So, I don't know. That's like the only thing that I'm kind of like, I don't know.
And the only thing I came up with that is that, I mean, if the Apple family meets every 100 moons, and I guess that puts a time frame of when Applejack was a foal to the way she is now. And I mean, there could have been another one in between. I think that allows Sunset Shimmer to pass through the portal every time and just sort of check in on Equestria, and maybe during those times she keeps her magic in check or something like that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I'm like kind of like, well, it's a little whatever.
Yeah.
There's a few little notes that are said in the movie that are never explained that you just kind of gotta.
Yeah, you basically like Sunset Shimmer is like basically basically pretty much confronts Twilight in the other world, and they're obviously now they both know that they're both there, sort of thing, and she just goes, and she says something along the lines of, "Do you know what happens when you bring an element of harmony into another world?" And that never really got answered, or at least I never got an explicit answer. The only thing I can think of that was supposed to be an answer to that would be when she used it at the end.
Yeah. It's not really gone into much. There's also a moment where she sits there and she goes, she calls her two henchmen, which of course are Snips and Snails. She goes, "Go get pictures, get something of her that I can use against her, like I did to the last girl that tried to challenge me." And my personal belief is that was Trixie.
Yeah, and and the main reason we think that is because of the fact that Snips and Snails follow Sunset Shimmer.
Yeah, plus the fact Trixie's one line. It's definitely Trixie. You can tell right away this is Trixie's personality. So it would make sense that Trixie would try to rule the school, and somehow Sunset Shimmer got something against her. Like, as we said in the other thing, the music's... I liked the songs a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like how they actually had to work to get everybody to get into the in the musical number that's in the lunchroom. They actually they start out with just them, but it actually grows and grows. It's like, it's not one of those things where they start singing and suddenly everybody around them is just able to sing it. It actually works into it.
Yeah, by the way, we're pretty sure that when Twilight grabs a burger, it's a veggie burger, because it's Fluttershy she's copying.
Yeah, pretty sure Fluttershy would have grabbed the veggie burger. Which, by the way, lunchroom, speaking of that, they pulled off the perfect Granny Smith. Because it was unexpected. They were in the lunchroom, all of a sudden they turn the camera around, and there's the lunch lady, and it's fucking Granny Smith, and she looks like a lunch lady. Like, you think...
And she's handing out apples.
Yes. I mean, you think what a lunch lady is supposed to look like kind of a bigger, older woman? That's exactly what Granny Smith looked like, and it was perfect.
Yeah, some of the background ponies we do not see. Unfortunately, we do not see a Bonbon and Lyra, at least.
We didn't see him.
Which kind of sucks, as it would have been funny if they had Lyra sitting in a pony-type way. But I guess they decided, let's just not put them in.
Pretty much like I said in the non-spoiler review, they wanted to establish this as its own world, just hint at the other one with this, which is why there's if it's a pony that was in Ponyville, it's pretty obvious that it was a pony that was in Ponyville. Obviously Vinyl Scratch stands out, Photo Finish stands out, Trixie stood out. The Cream Crusaders stood out.
Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon.
Snips and Snails.
By the way, why the hell were they there? We're trying to figure that out. It's like, they shouldn't be... I don't think they're old enough to be freshmen. I guess that might be what it's going for. My personal belief is that Canterlot High might be junior to
it might be like a combination junior high and high school. They just call it They just call it the high school.
Yeah, I do know there are some schools that I believe are called like something high, and it's actually junior to...
Yeah,
12th grade.
So it might be something like that. So because the Q Crusaders are there too. I think they're the same. They're supposed to be the same age. So.
Oh yeah. By the way, they have a nice cameo of Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Cheerios. They have a nice cameo of Cheerios. and it made me very hungry. And then Cheerilee came up and started eating the Cheerios, which is just even funnier. So yeah, Cheerilee.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Cheerio. I don't know why I said Cheerio.
Okay, you know what? If I don't see a Photoshop of that now on Dirty Brew within like an hour of this going up, I will be disappointed.
So, okay, somebody, if you really love us, draw a picture of Cheerilee with eating Cheerios. Say, Pip, Pip, Cheerio.
Shut up, Pip. Nobody likes you.
But yeah, she has a nice cameo, and I don't think we'll go into that. I think it's better
we'll
if you see it for
let
yourself.
that go as its own thing. The cakes are there, running a shop that is appropriate for them.
Yeah, I can't remember who the derpy lookalike is. That's like a slightly different coat color, and like the hair is a more smooth back. But like she's kind of like a lightish purple type Pegasus, and you see her a lot.
Oh, the one that people thought was Ditzy Doo at first.
I think so. No, it was not Ditzy Doo at first.
Not that one that brought the birds back.
No, she had purple hair. I'm talking about she's a fairly common one. She's kind of like a light purple Pegasus, and her hair is like kind of orangey blonde, and she's just like she's one of the generic background ponies you see all the time.
Huh.
And I've seen quite a few girls that was obviously her, so I know she's in there, but I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
Derpy does show up a couple of times.
At least twice. There's one that I'll be surprised if you miss it.
Yeah.
And the other one I actually caught. He didn't. So.
Yeah.
So we know of two. We know of 2 times she shows up. But that's probably all she did.
Now there's a point where Twilight's trying to move a table and 2 guys come to help her. I think that's supposed to be Zorin, but I can't figure out who the other person is. It literally looks like a male Spitfire, but I don't think that's what they're going for. It's just, he has like flames. Maybe he's supposed to be one of the teenage dragons. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me.
That would be interesting if it was the dragons. And that all the dragons don't just become dogs in the other universe. Which, by the way, okay, one of my favorite parts of the movie is pretty much Twilight finally gets to the point where she decides she has to just tell the human equivalents, or tell her human friends that she's actually from another world and all that. And they're in a beauty shop. It's not Rarities, by the way, because they're in high school. She doesn't own it. She just hangs.
Yeah.
I guess she just hangs out there.
Her parents probably own it.
Probably, and I get maybe she works there.
Yeah.
But but she comes out and she says she's got to tell him something, and of course Pinky does Pinky thing, and she basically says. It's a long ass line where she basically says, "Oh, you're a pony princess from another dimension, and you're here finding something that Sunset Shimmer took, and you're
yeah, this is blah 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 blah." And it just flies back there, just like
Twilight is mouth agape.
So is Spike.
Yeah, so is Spike, and the other girls just go like, "Oh." It's like, "Oh, Pinky, you're just always saying things like that." And then Spike has the best moment in the movie. He just goes, and he just does the one thing that can save the situation. He just goes, and by the way, up to this point, he has not spoken. So he finally breaks that and just goes, fuck, what was the actual?
So actually, she pretty much nailed it.
Oh yeah, actually, she pretty much nailed it. As soon as that happened, like, that pretty much was like, okay, here's how that really helped her. If Twilight had just said she got it right, pretty sure Applejack and the others would have been like, okay. But as soon as Spike fucking talked, I think that basically made them I think that forced them to accept it.
So yeah, she's literally got a talking dog. Something weird's going on here.
Hopefully I insert the robot chicken, or not for sure. We'll just reference it. It's like, holy shit, a talking dog!
There's no need to fear.
Oh my god, there's a talking dog. A talking dog. Can you speak, boys? Can you speak? Oh my god, he can fly! Holy shit! Oh god.
But pretty much, let's face it. If you're sitting there and some girl ran up to you and went, "Quick, you've got to help me! I'm actually a pony princess from another world, and I have to fight blah blah blah," you'd be like,
"Yeah, well, okay." I think Brody's would go along with it, just playing along with it, thinking that they're trying to do something.
Okay,
Well,
mean,
okay,
like,
I'm
a
just thinking. I'm
normal
saying,
person.
yeah. I'm just saying, like, they would probably, they might like. Well, I don't know if they outright believe them, but they, they just, they play along.
Yeah, you would play along, but let's say the girl does that, and then a cat or something comes out of her backpack and goes, "You've really got to help us." I think you'd be about willing to believe just about anything at that point.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so yeah, I believe you now.
Okay, so let's see. As far as like what we were talking about pacing in the movie, yeah, the climax and the battle between them, it's I don't know. It feels like there could have.
It feels like pretty much Stretch of Simmer gets the element of harmony, she puts it on her head, it transforms her into this demon-looking thing, she gets actual magic, and she takes over the minds of all of the students, and she's getting ready to march them into Equestria to take over, because she wants to take over Equestria. And she throws a spell at Twilight and her friends, and I guess because Twilight has her friends that her innate magic kicks in, even though she's a human now.
And it was because it was the magic from the element itself.
Yeah, it was like she's still connected to the element pretty much, even though somebody else was using it. And yeah, she's able to summon the magic out, and then they just defeat Sunset Shimmer. And it really seems like there should have been a little more to that.
I don't know. I guess what we were hoping for was not a DBZ-esque battle, but like Twilight could have. Twilight had basically a glowing aura around her, and it would have been nice to kind of have them, because of the fact that they're in human forms. It would have been kind of neat to see them choreograph a fight or something. I guess because it's Pony, you can't do that.
Well, I just wanted, I didn't even need to see that. I just wanted it to be a little bit more of a climactic thing. Like, maybe she had to struggle just a little more, and it wasn't just suddenly, my friends are here, I can defeat you.
Yeah. Or, I guess since it, because trying to stay with the kids thing, and not like a fist fight, but they should have, battled with, Magic Blast.
Should have,
yeah, that's me. I would have liked to have seen a bit more of a battle.
Yeah, I personally, if I had to see something, it would have been more of along the lines of Sunset Simmer was like, well, no matter, I'll still destroy you or something. It's like, trying to hit them with blasts, and they have to work together as a team or something to, trap her or something. Like, maybe they devise some sort of trap real quick, and they get her just long enough so they can summon the elements of harmony power to do the thing at the end.
Yeah.
I feel there should have been a little more, but it's not really that big a.
It's not that it doesn't take away from the movie that much. That's the thing, is that there have been moments in the actual show itself where obviously they've had these big ideas that haven't really fit into the time constraints, and it does sometimes take a little bit away from it. Yeah. Because I guess of the scope of what they were doing. This one isn't as bad as some of the cases in the show, because they to begin with, they had more time to tell the majority of their story, which really did help that. This kind of helped prove my theory that give these guys more time, and they can do something really well thought out, really well paced.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier about the whole thing of I was worried this would just be another one of these type of shows, or it would be slightly above average. The fact that it doesn't really come up with, the only kind of boy thing is Twilight kind of liking the ex of Sunset Shimmer, which is it kind of seems thrown in there, but not really.
The main reason that they put in the detail that Flash Sentry was Sunset Shimmer's ex-boyfriend was to establish a good reason for him to have been around when Sunset Shimmer I guess the reason why he'd be wondering what Sunset Shimmer would want to do to Twilight or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a point where she has the ball area wrecked, and I think Flash knew right away that something was probably up.
Because he obviously figured out what Sunset. He obviously knew what Sunset Shimmer was actually.
He used the data, so I guess that's where that detail comes in. Although it seems a little forced, it might have been a Hasbro thing. Yeah,
it's a little forced, but at the same time, it does help him come into, it saves Twilight at one point.
And it's also just kind of pushed to the side and not made.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that it's not like they say he's her ex-boyfriend, and then that's it. That's all. That's all that's spoken of it again.
Yeah, it doesn't become a big deal. It's really just, it's pretty much the movie is about Twilight saying, you know, it's that thing of we may all be different, but when we come together for a common goal, we can achieve greatness, and that's really about it. It doesn't have anything to do with, you know, there's none of the girls like to go shopping or anything like that. I mean, you see them doing some stuff like that, but it's just...
Well, the majority of that is that they're hanging out in Rarity shop again, so...
And it's mainly, you know, the characters that you would expect to do that. Like, yeah, Rarity does that stuff. Applejack really does it. And when they're dressing for the...
it was like fall... It was fall social or something like that?
It follows...
Oh,
no, the princess... Like, the something princess, because there's princess in the title.
She was the she was trying to be the princess of it.
No, it had princess in the title because Celestia said, do you want to apply for the blah 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 princess summit or something like that? Not summit, but... And she was like, well, actually, wait, the what now? She goes, yes, it's a dance, it's like a dance thing here, like the Grand Galloping Gala? The Grand Galloping what? That was kind of one of those moments that that Twilight needed was, you know, seeing Celestia and realizing that even Celestia is not aware of the other world in that one. By the way, I do like the any pony joke.
Yeah.
Where she goes to say any pony. We'll just let you watch that.
Let me see. So there. What else do we need? What else should we go into?
Well, there is the whole. Okay, like we were saying, the characters act like the characters. Pinky does something that once again just makes you go, whatever. It's Pinky.
Oh God, yeah. I think I heard at least one fangirl squee at Big Mac.
Possibly. Yep.
Yeah, I heard a squee.
I'm wondering if he's like a teacher there.
No, he's.
I don't know if he's an older student. He might be.
I don't know if he's an older. I don't know if it's older student or. Because I mean, they said obviously Applejack and Big Mac are still
siblings.
They're still siblings and they're still doing the apple farm thing probably, or doing like they're doing the apple cider.
They probably make apple product. They do something.
They sell apples and apple accessories.
No.
But I think what it is I know Big Mac. Well, I forget. Was he like in the lunchroom when they did the song or something?
I don't think he was.
I know he shows up to help deliver some of the cider, and then he's at the dance. But that I can't think if.
Yeah, the reason why I'm wondering if he might be a teacher is because it's like Cheerilee. Cheerilee's a teacher, and we got to remember he's about the same age of Cheerilee if they were trying to pair them up in Pony World. So
yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's not really a big deal. We're just one of those things. By the way, there's some great jokes with just the characters themselves, especially when the two people come to help move the table.
Yeah.
That made us both laugh a lot.
Let me see.
What the fuck? So another thing that we need to go into is kind of the ending of the human world. Twilight goes back through the mirror, or the portal at the very end. We're a little disappointed that there wasn't any more with the human world, except for Pinky trying to run through the portal herself. The human Pinky.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, we both came up with the idea that it would have been nice to have like an extra, like there is something at the end of the credits that is there, but it's nothing like this. But I think it would have been great if it was it was like an extra scene from in that world where like the five, those five are hanging around, because Pinky hints at the I don't it's Pinky being Pinky, but she kind of hints at the idea that there's another girl in that universe that looks like the human Twilight
and has a dog named Spike.
Yeah, and so I was just wondering. So that brings up the idea that that Twilight equivalent could have popped. That would have been neat if like they were all talking like the front steps or something. And then, like, not show her completely, but, like, in like the camera kind of zooms out some. And then, like, just into the frame steps, like, one of the legs, and you see the socks again.
Something like, pretty much just... the twilight of that one coming, showing that she might be.
That would have been a nice. That would have been a nice little touch. But I guess some people would have said, "Oh, that would have set up for the spin-off series that nobody would have cared about." Shut up. Because here's the thing: if there was going to be a spin-off of this movie, I'd actually give it a really healthy chance after seeing this movie.
Yeah. The only issue I kind of have with the movie is the fact that they couldn't just defeat Sunset Shimmer. She has to have the kind of personality change, which I get. Well,
I guess you might have a problem with it, but I kind of see where in this case it kind of 180s her because basically she's been going on for so long of I get what I want, and even when Celestia said no to her before, she just found a way to try to get what she wanted.
Yeah.
So when it was pretty much blatantly obvious that she was not going to win or get her way in this, it for her personality it was a crushing defeat. Like it just crushed her soul, sort of thing.
Yeah, it kind of broke her.
So this is one of those times where a character does a complete 180 in like 2 seconds, but to me it makes sense.
It kind of is. I mean, I guess there's also the simple fact that after you've been hit with the element of harmony, I think you've been pretty much cleansed of most negativeness. So, I don't know, she's given a second chance. I am kind of disappointed we won't be able to see her anywhere in season 4.
Yeah, because this is spoiler version. She doesn't go back through the mirror.
No, it's just Spike and Twilight, and now the portal is closed for another 30 moons.
Yeah, but I do like. Oh God, it's actually kind of funny because when she goes through the mirror the first time and ends up in the human world. Yeah, she's sitting there. She's shown as sitting down, and she does her little thing, and she does the whole thing because I think it was shown in the trailer where she was kind of running, trying to run like the pony version. But when she goes back through the mirror and goes to the other universe. And because she had to go through walking like a human, when she pops out on the other side, she's standing on her rear hooves, and she goes like, eh.
Yeah, that was just one of those neat little things. Another neat little thing is, when they get the pony powers and the humans get the pony powers, Rainbow Dash never goes on the ground again. If she can help it.
And I think the best part was at the end when Twilight goes through and the powers fade out. So the 5 of them lose the ears and everything, and just Rainbow Dash gets like.
So that was pretty much I think all we can really say about the movie. It was a lot better than anybody probably expected it to be. Then again, we knew it wasn't going to be terrible, but it did turn out even a lot better than we probably anticipated.
Yeah, and honestly, with that last battle. That was total callback to Gen 1 Pony right there. I mean, the fact she turns into basically a demon. I mean, that's full on Gen 1 Pony stuff right there. And I know some people are be like, what? And it's like, dude, I need to re-upload that, but still, the original special for it. Yeah, they fought a freaking demon that was turning ponies into monsters.
Yeah, there's some dark stuff in the Gen 1 series. By the way, if I ever manage to get a hold of the Gen 1 season box set, we might end up doing some Let's Watches of that. The problem is it's very hard to find, so don't expect it anytime soon.
Yeah. Alright, so I think we're pretty much done with that. I don't think we need to let this go on any longer than it already is.
So let's just say we recommend watching it with an open mind. Don't try the hold against it. The fact that it's doing the high school thing is like...
Because you want to know how much it focuses on the whole high school drama thing? Not a whole lot, actually.
And to be perfectly honest, I went into this thinking it's like, I'm going to walk out of this and say that had nothing to do... That shouldn't have had anything to do with ponies. But frankly, I don't think the movie would have worked unless... It just works. That's the best way I can describe it. Even though it's obviously trying to sell these dolls and stuff, they took the idea and they did a good thing with it, and it works. And it's
pretty much they made it. Just saying that it was an alternate universe that doesn't completely justify it. But the way that the alternate universe worked, I think, helped justify it.
Yeah. Pretty much the movie was well paced enough and well put together with enough humor and everything. It was an enjoyable watch. When we get a copy of it, we will be doing a Let's Watch of it for you.
Yeah. And, By the way, it'll probably get because I'll probably start putting these up after the. Well, no, I should make a separate video about that. So don't worry. What I was about to talk about, you'll see in a separate video. I don't know if that one might be up before this one because it'll be shorter than this one, but that's for sure. But otherwise, there'll be one after this that'll explain something about the Pony Let's watches that will probably be how we'll do them going into the future. Hell, I think we might be applying. I think I might want to apply that to just all the Let's Watches, period, going forward.
Anyway, for Equestria Girls, if it airs on the hub and if we are capable, we will try to we might try to stream it for you guys. We don't know anything about that, so we'll let you know when we have more information. So for all of you who are going to say, "Will you stream it for us?" or blah blah blah, we don't know yet.
Yeah, I guess if they hadn't watched the non-spoiler version, or if they could only watch the non-spoiler version, then it pretty much just let people know that we're going to stream.
Yeah.
We will stream that movie if we can. So
anyway, this has been Esther,
and this has been the Suki,
and we'll see you next time.
Yep, we'll see you on the next one.